course, each made up of 5 racks. If the match does go to a deciding set, then the winner has to be 2 racks clear. Confirmation that there's a point for a win. It's the best of 25. The USA need 13 points to retain the trophy. Europe need 13 points to win it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first match on evening number 3 of the Mosconi Cup, where your referee for the evening will be Jan Bahas. And who better to enter the battlefield than the Captain of America, a winner of 48 major titles, including 5 world crowns, and this Hall of Famer is a legend in his own country. Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome the Colonel from Kentucky, the brilliant Nick Varner! Quickly making his mark at this game's top level, proving what a remarkable young man he is. A snooker megastar, he holds the Asian and the European League titles, and he comes into this event as the newly crowned United Kingdom champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the rapid rocket himself, Ronnie!
Your commentary team, Sid Waddell and Jim White.
The players just lagging for the break here. And we've already seen only too often just how big the break can be in 9-ball. O'Sullivan has proved it. His break has been a force. Varner as well.
America.
Very intriguing matchup this. The American captain against the youngest player on the European side,
the first set.
Ronnie O'Sullivan. Snooker prowess known only too well. Varner will be trying to show the chinks in O'Sullivan's pool playing armor.
Very good analogy, James, coming from a mechanic. Yes, an element of armorial battle here, jousting. Jim has frequently made reference to the cue. The cue is extremely funny shape, the pot-in cue. It's bottle shaped, particularly something like Varner's. Look, it bellies out about 18 inches from the tip into a thick end, totally different shape to a snooker cue. Because this is a totally different discipline. The application of spin to the white, crucial in this game. As Ronnie tries an intermediate shot there, he tried the yellow one onto the pink.
Yes, missed it, and may not look like there's much on here for Nick Varner, but this is a bank shot he'll be trying. As you see again, the combination shot attempted and missed by O'Sullivan, trying to plant that pink into the pocket. He'll be banking this to the corner he's bridging nearest.
Nicely weighted shots, trickles in, disappears, as does our graphic. He now has to go. This is the rules. They're very simple. You aim, you have to make contact with the low ball, in this case the blue 2. It disappears. You then must make contact with the 3, but that doesn't mean you have to pot it. You could, if you see, say a 5 or an 8, or indeed the 9 hanging somewhere else, you can proceed via object ball or cue ball to the intermediate ball. But if they're all lying sweet and you dominate the middle of the table, it's elementary. My dear White.
Well, this is the key shot right here. He needs position from this pink 4 to the orange 5. Got to make sure he doesn't snooker himself behind the 8.
Needs to land dead on the cush. Well, he might. I think he can pass. I think he can pass to contact. The question is, can he contact the pot?
I don't think so. I'm not sure he can get through there. You can see the 4-ball nicely into the pocket, but this was always going to be the danger. He needed to negotiate that gap, and there you can see, if there's room there, Sid, only a whisker.
I think you're right. It looked easier from the other wider angle. And there's no nap on this cloth. It makes a normal billiard or 8-ball pool cloth look like an ice rink, this thing. And this kiss could set up Ronnie. I think it has.
It certainly has. The orange 5, the green 6 to follow. And if the form that Ronnie O'Sullivan showed us earlier in the day when partnering Davis to an emphatic victory follows true, he's home and dry here.
This the lad who did a 1:47 break in about 5 minutes 30 seconds within the last year. The eye of the tiger. The looks of a Mexican bandit leader. The talent of a genius. First choke to Ronnie.
First rack to Europe.
Waste little time in taking the first rack of the opening set, does the Rocket. It's Europe 1, America 0 in this 1997 Ryder Cup version of 9-ball pool.
Being watched by millions, we understand, coast to coast in the States. Talk about teaching your grandma how to suck eggs. Europe 7, America 5 in the overall match, yes? Order it not in the streets of Arkansas. Echo it down Bourbon Street in New Orleans. The Europeans are ahead, 7-5. Long way to go, though. First to 13 wins.
Tremendous record that from a snooker
Second
player.
rack. Europe
Getting
3.
his birthday playing pool. He's played 7 and he's got a winning record. And that might well be the reason that Europe is enjoying the 2-point advantage.
So you couldn't want a better age spectrum in the game. Nick's mid-40s, Hall of Famer. Ronnie, 20s. Already talked about in the hushed tones of a legend in snooker. What a swerve on that! Like one of the Underwood brothers, taking out a fullback. What swerve?
Tremendous swerve shot from O'Sullivan. Any harder, that would have been in the pocket, Sid. It is now. Once again, Varner with the first opportunity to try and hit pay dirt.
Finish cut into the middle pocket. I like how some of me and Jim's been that going. These lads only use the middle pocket if it's obvious. The long ones are the sweetest. The game suddenly swings dramatically from being as exciting as a bullfight to the tension in the nail-biting watch while they work out the exact angles. Echo, you've got to be millimeter perfect on this base. There is hardly any nap.
Well, Varner obviously looking to bank the 4-ball back into the opposite middle. The option to play safe. But these Americans are very aggressive. They know how these rails react. And that shot has just laid the foundation for what looks like it's going to be a victory here in the second rack of the opening set.
No trouble now. Coming down gently. A couple of inches off the rail for the 9-1 rack each.
Over and out for Nick Varner. All square now in the first set at 1 rack apiece. It's a race to 3. The First set of this evening's play here in the 1997 Mosconi Cup.
The star of Europe, one of many, symbolizing the spirit in this European team in the Mosconi Cup,
Thank you,
producing
ladies and gentlemen.
Bull Mania in the
Third
East End of London. Once upon a
American
time, the York Hall echoed to the bash of leather on cauliflower ears. Now it's the more gentle click of wood on ivory, and out goes, yes! Bad luck on the American captain there. Good break, in off. A vital match. One rack each, opening set.
There's the break off, but O'Sullivan,
To Europe.
you can see the two coming down to the 9. He's just planted the 9 into the corner pocket. And that's how quick 9-ball can be, Sid. In the blink of an eye, it's 2-1 in racks, Europe over America.
Ronnie certainly has cranked up this crowd. They used to come to watch heavyweights thump each other all over the place. Now they come to watch the fantastic drama of international 9-ball pool.
Yes, if you've tuned in to Sky Sports 3, you're in the right place at the right time. O'Sullivan in the limelight right now. He's got the weight of his teammates
Europe
and all the
today.
countries of Europe on the back of his shoulders, and he's carrying them proud.
7-5, the Euro team lead. And thanks to that dramatic step in, atrocious look for the American captain. 2-1. If Ronnie can take this rack, 1-0, and the Yanks will be looking glum. If you're just tuning in, if you're back from the football, the rules are very simple. Hit the low ball, in this case the 1. Pot it if you want. If you see an easier lie, go to it. But you must contact the low ball. It comes the point, just like what we saw there, where the low ball is in an angled alignment with the 9. The game finishes very quick.
Down for the 2. Good positional shot, that one from Nick Varner. And what's more, a nice angle to take that cue ball straight up the table for the red 3.
Hand steady at the moment, but we've seen it shaken. Like my sister Kate, who shimmied like a jelly on a plate, you'll remember. The American captain in his mid-40s certainly feels the pressure on occasions like this. The Americans came with a team that had taken 370 odd titles, with the likes of Jim Remby and Earl Strickland leading the pack. But the Wolves of Europe sank their fangs into them. And who's to say it won't be 8-5 pretty soon. Varner with a job on against Ronnie the Rocket.
Yes, and you've got 5 world titles in the form of Nick Varner at the table right now. Talk about David and Goliath.
Well, a lot more than a slingshot sophistication in this game, although presumably in those days in the Philistine Super League, the slingshot had to be used perfectly, or the rest of the game kicked your butt.
Simple 8-ball, and the 9 to follow. And we're deadlocked at 2 racks apiece here in the first set. This all-important clash between Nick Varner and Ronnie O'Sullivan. Down goes the 9, confirmation. Varner acknowledges, the crowd cheers. America with a lot of supporters.
Yeah, those lads are American Air Force personnel from up the road at Lakenheath and Mildenhall. They've been down the PX for their gum, and they've lubricated their tonsils, and they're sure backing the boys in the Stars and Stripes.
Well, certainly Nick Varner is in prime position right now to take this opening rack. He's going to be breaking off in the 5th and decisive rack of the first set, and there you go. He's 49 years of age with a wealth of experience. The nickname Nirvana has yet to put a point the American way.
So, nickname would change to Nada if Ronnie can win this.
Well, the table is set.
Bases loaded. If you're watching in Philadelphia or Peoria, we do mix our metaphors, us Euro commentators. Also our Canadian friend Jim White. Everybody's eyes absolutely emblazoned on the bays. It's the American captain. Goes to shake the boys in the practice room. And the USAF down ringside. The good ladies supporting the American team too. He's ideally placed to take this set.
Had to kill the cue ball and keep it away from that corner pocket. Nick looking at this pink 4 into the center.
A very confident shot on the center pocket.
If anything, he got into the cue ball too much. He's left himself a fine clip on the 5, the orange one, to the same pocket, and this could have been so much easier. The problem here, even though the orange 5 is on to the middle, it's controlling where the cue ball's going to hit in this area and making sure that 9 doesn't come into play as he slides down for the 6.
Well, done himself no favors in relation to the 6.
Well, like I said, that 9 ball has come into play, and now he's really got to pull one out of his hat.
The risk on the middle bag, immense. The middle bags only should be used in more or less emergencies. You see?
Such an acute angle into the centers, but he's played a backup shot. Just look where he stopped the cue ball. 2 shots in 1 there from Varner. The experience of an American legend.
Little dolly up. Oh no. Ronnie has dropped Lucky. For that, there is no rail shot here. No rail shot, and the bank is difficult because it's frozen to the rail.
He's having a look. What that means, in effect, is that another cushion may have to be contacted. If he played a double kiss, for example, the cushion that the 6 is frozen to doesn't count as a cushion. And the cushion has to be contacted after the white and object ball contact each other. The bank shot.
Yeah, great shot. In the circumstances, a brilliant shot.
They love it. Another look. This one could well take the opening set.
And the Americans don't off need it. This for the opening set. Americans are trailing 7-5 in the overall match. This would make no shaking in his hand this time.
No shaking at all. The Americans take the first set. It's 1-0 in this best 2 of 3 sets. Europe versus America. Welcome back to the Mosconi Cup, America versus Europe, and with the chance of USA, USA, you'd wonder if we weren't on the streets of New York. There's the American flag. The boys came down to support their countrymen, and the Americans have done them proud in the opening set.
Yeah, he must knock Ronnie back a little bit.
America's won the lag.
The faculty here in the East End of London. It's almost like a Moose's
First
convention
rack, second set.
off of Broadway.
America to break.
We've got the American Air Force here. There's the lads from Millenall and Lake and Heath. And who's to know if Sly Stallone doesn't come down with a grappling iron before the end of this amazing tournament.
Nothing off the break for Nick Varner there, but he's not left anything for O'Sullivan either.
Ronnie has to take this set. 7-5 to Europe, a very surprising scoreline considering that the Americans brought 6 of the brightest stars in world pool over here on Friday to play to the memory of Willie Mosconi, pool legend, the game that America gave the world. The game, not the game featured in the original Hustler. That was 15-ball pool. This is 9-ball. It's much more rumbustious, shorter distance cousin. That looks like a cracker to me, Jim.
Education. You just learned something there. A lot of players might well have played that with pace and try and drawn that white back behind the green. Not Nick Varner. Played like a professor. Terrific reply from O'Sullivan.
Ronnie may not yet be a professor in pool, but he just got his PhD in 48 hours. The boy is learning every hit. Look at the swerve on this. On the side that takes it to the yellow.
Needed to contact the cushion, and you saw it achieved. The bank shot, we've seen just how adept Nick Varner is at judging these cushions and doubling balls into pockets.
Knows more about banking than J. Pierpont Morgan.
And nicely onto the blue too.
The finesse is coming out in Varner's play. 40-odd major titles in a career as he approaches midlife, but no crisis to the 50-year-old. The American captain showing no nerves. He had the shakes in his last game, but look at that for precision, and look at the leave.
Just wanted a bit of a bounce off that cushion so as not to be too straight on the 4-ball, the pink one he's looking at. The orange 5. Should he get this, will follow. And now Nick's going to be looking for position back on the left-hand side of the table. The green 6 ball's next. Played very delicately.
Some players masters of spite and bile. This man a master of flight and guile. This definitely a case study of the delicate precision of an American master against a genius of world snooker. The audience knowing that the experience of the American captain could well take the day, and although there are 20 or 30 vociferous Americans in here, the rest of them are very definitely pearly by affiliation. The Euro crowd stunned by the American captain's mastery of spin and control. I wouldn't say grudging applause, Jim, but due applause to the American captain for a perler of a
First
rack.
rack to America.
Beautiful exhibition of control. Started with a beautiful bank. Nick Varner stakes America to a 1-0 lead in the second set, having already deposited the first set in the bank. Hard to believe he has yet to put a point the Americans' way, but he's looking to go one better than that right here against O'Sullivan. You can hear the crowd. They want O'Sullivan to get back into this. No time like the present, and a good break, the order of the day. His break seems to have deserted him, Sid. When he was partnering Davis in the doubles match this afternoon, he was breaking as well as anybody.
Well, and again, that's this game. Varner was shaking like chaff in a cornfield. He was really psyched up and nervous last time out. Total different player here. American captain in play again. I think playing safe. There was a wall of balls right at the table.
Well, Ronnie is really being made to scratch his head right now. Nick Varner has just taken him back to school. That looks like that'll pass the pink 4 into the bottom right, and there you can see it.
Yeah, James, stick up on the 1, and the rest of the table looking fairly open. The American can do this in 2 more racks, including this one.
You just knew that the power that this American team presented in 9-ball would come to the forefront at some stage. Well, that one certainly went in the tradesman's entrance. And what's more is he hasn't finished on the 1-ball.
I don't see the reason for the intermediate shot there. Why not just do the straight putt?
Well said, certainly. In hindsight, I think Varner might have wished he'd have taken your advice. He could opt to try and bank this one in the middle pocket, right across the table.
Why not top right?
Well, he's gone for the safety.
And he stuck it up, I reckon.
He certainly relinquished the baton here, though, no question. That was a let-off from Varner. I think an error in judgment. Well, the cheers will turn to concern here soon enough. O'Sullivan snookered on the 2. And that might spell rack number 2.
Yeah, Ronnie having a bit of a nightmare. Gets positioned nicely on the red 3. Orange 5. How'd you get there, Jim?
Just straight top. He'll just follow through on this. Bring the cue ball off the side cushion.
There's the top spin.
And always ensuring to leave an angle. Keeping his options open. How to play position. He's looking at the green 6 now. He can just dolly this orange 5 into the corner. Play the cue ball behind the 6 and up to the top corner.
Possible plant on the 7 to the 9, but he doesn't really need it because there's so much distance between the balls. This should be a fairly simple run through. Or is he thinking about the plant?
He's got no choice now, Sid. I don't think he wanted to play the plant because it's not on.
Didn't think so.
It's got to be made. But where he's finished on the 6, he may have to play the 7 onto the 9. Well, he did have some angle. Tremendous shot. Looked like it was straight in. That wasn't the case. He's forced it with a lot of side and got right around the back of the 7. Made his work a lot easier. Watch the side. That was a great shot from Nick Varner.
Brilliant use of side spin to make the Brown shot easy, and it should be elementary now. Using lots of bottom and left hand, and there's the shake again, but it didn't interrupt his efficiency, Jim.
As long as that cue is delivered straight through the white, he knows it.
USAF giving him the thumb of victory. Slightly previous, but no doubt totally in order.
This is really a classic performance from Nick Varner. He's putting on a clinic right now. He leads O'Sullivan 2-0. He's already won the first set and is just one rack away from notching up a point for the Americans.
Yeah, the banner is spangled, and at the moment, the captain is the star.
There's the shake. Right there with the backhand. Didn't matter at all. Straight through the white. And that equated to success. O'Sullivan now with a mountain to climb. Varner's going to be breaking off for the match.
Yep. Third rack, second
Ronnie
set.
desperately hoping
America to break.
he's going to get out of that chair.
This to end to pull back to 7-6 in the overall match. And scratch. And look where the 9 is. The 9 ball is begging.
Cue ball in hand for O'Sullivan. And this doesn't look too difficult.
To save the game.
Lots of room for this 2 to pass. It's got a nice angle. The 5, the next ball on.
Got into position nicely for the 6 and the 7. And no trouble getting position off one cush for the black.
Made short work of this. This was all because of Nick Varner, I think, just putting a little extra into that break and losing control of the white. O'Sullivan staves off elimination. He pulls one back. Still a long road ahead. He's got a ways to climb back into it yet, but you got to start it with one step at a time.
Whether you're Henry Cooper or Julia Dix, they don't half know how to bring on their own, these East End lots.
Ronnie will want to build on some of the emotion the crowd is presenting him with.
Gentlemen, fourth rack, Europe to break.
Ronnie saves the game, Jim.
He's got one off the break. In fact, he's got 2. What's more is he's finished perfect on the lowest ball on the table, the 3. Absolutely perfect. 1, 2, taken in off the break, and just look where he is on the 3 ball. This is made to order for O'Sullivan.
I can only imagine the atmosphere here. Yeah. Sometimes this game's a lottery, but sometimes it's not worth the gamble. Sometimes it's worth just thinking one ball at a time. And that's what Ronnie's doing. Mercury in the elbow. Liquid hydrogen in the mind. It's a cool way out. Well, he's given himself the thinnest cut possible. The breath, the moth breath cuts in!
O'Sullivan watched that cue ball, I'm sure with anxious moments. He's tied it up here, 2-2 in the second set. He's given himself life and a chance to fight on in this match. He pots these like they're over the pocket. So impressive, I'm sure. And had to feather the 9-inch.
That was a whisker-thin cut on the 9.
Well, Ronnie knows, though, it still might be out of his hands. Varner breaking off. The last time, remember, he scratched and took the white into the side pocket.
Deciding rack.
I'm
second
sure
set,
you'll see
America
him
to break.
try and keep that white on the table this time. Well, there's nothing easy, Sid. You can see the 1 ball.
But its angle to the bottom right is very tricky. It's a reverse angle. It's a thin contact. It could dolly up. That 1 takes some pot in bottom right, Jim.
And lest we forget, as we see the balls remaining on the table, the 3 made off the break, you take them in order, low right up to the 9. And at any time, when you contact the lowest ball on, you can attack that 9. And these players always know where it is.
Trying to bank again. And it stays on the doorstep. But, well, that was an extremely brave shot in the circumstances. Look, it just hits the and stays. No spin on it at all, or else it would have been in. He takes out half the fag in 1 suck. And can Ronnie hit this? Oh, unlucky!
Foul.
It's going to be cue ball in hand now for Nick Varner. 1 good positional shot. And O'Sullivan may have played his last.
That's right. And the atmosphere would be like flinging curry powder in the mulligatawny. We couldn't have spiced up the broth here. The American looking good for pulling it back to 7-6 overall in the Mosconi.
Well, certainly the option would be to play on the left-hand side of the blue 2, down the bottom end of the table, and combination it onto the 7 over the pocket. A lot less impediments on that side of the table, to be sure. The way he's playing this, I think he's going to go around the angles of 3 cushions, down for the 2, onto the 7. Now, if he can leave that 2 ball over the pocket in knocking in this 7, the hard work will have been done.
He's got to get on the pink, shouldn't he? Has to just come in gently and leave the long pink top right. Oh, well. Take it the entire opposite way. Immense bottom on that.
Varner softly draw this white over for the 5, the orange one. They're there for the taking, and so is the match. And Nick there, ensuring to leave an angle on the 6 to take the cue ball over to the right-hand side of the table.
Didn't get in the Hall of Fame for nothing, Nick. Seen an American maestro at work.
He's going to be playing the 8 ball to the same pocket as this 6.
Captain's innings, as we say in England.
Master at work.
He's shaken, his team are rattled, and now in the last ball, rolls!
And Nick Varner, arms in the air, gives cause for the American fans to celebrate. They've pulled a point back here, and quite possibly the start of a USA comeback.